People just want to troll anything they can.
Yeah,
Always
that's
have
exactly
been.
right.
They sure do. And we now have a guest that wants to troll the Minnesota state budget. With good reason.
Great segue.
Great segue. You know, it's
Needs
really,
trolling.
Nate, it was really nice of you to
George.
do.
Right?
Yes.
Yes, we need to introduce you.
I was
Yes.
just about doing that, but you know.
We'll do it faster then. Got to go
Oh,
fast.
do it fast. No, I was just going to point out to him he doesn't have to take his shoes off to come into the house, but it was nice of you to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, gotta be.
There you go.
No, I don't want to assume.
Thank you.
There you have it. So what's going on, Nate?
Not a whole lot. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you back. And how are we doing now in Minnesota? I mean, violence is way out of control. What do you think happened? And if you don't want to comment on it, you don't have to. But what do you think happened to make Minnesota go so nuts again?
Well, I think there's a lot of theories about that. I think a lot of it ties back to we have a serious mental health problem here in the state,
Yeah.
and there's a certain group of people who are utilizing that to further their agenda and distract from things that they don't want people to pay attention to. The rhetoric that is out there is absolutely deliberate and unbecoming, I would say. And it's all on
He's
purpose.
saying it out loud. You're actually saying it out loud.
Oh yeah,
A Minnesotan saying it out loud. It's such a
Absolutely.
rare event.
you know, and it's unfortunate because we need people to snap out of it. So
I agree with you 100%. Look, I was born in Long Prairie, Minnesota. I was raised in North Minneapolis. Catherine and I live in, I don't want to say where we live because I don't want anybody showing up over there, but, and I'm talking about the very people you're talking about. I just, you know, it's always been a pretty touchy state as far as politics is concerned.
Right.
But now it's just so hate-filled. I can't even watch it or read it anymore. I just can't.
right. Yeah, we've definitely lost our civility when it comes to pretty much everything in society nowadays. If you don't agree with somebody, you're met with vitriol and you're treated as subhuman rather than just somebody with another opinion.
What do you think is going to, I mean, I know that you don't have, a magic wand or anything, but what do you think could actually happen to turn everything around? Or can it be turned around? Is it just going to be the DFL is the moral compass of the world and everybody else is, garbage? Is that just how it's going to be for the rest of time?
I think we're certainly in danger of that as long as we have people in party leadership that are furthering, that rhetoric that they are, and inciting the things that we're seeing going on. That's where it starts there. It starts with leadership speaking responsibly in a public forum, and choosing their words carefully and trying to convey a neutral message rather than a radical message that's going to incite people to commit violence or do things that they normally wouldn't do.
Right. I mean,
Yep.
up to killing people. That's the
Right.
weird. They kill people now.
Well,
Right.
there's all kinds of social media posts of a lot of people in
Terrible.
healthcare that
Yeah.
are like, if a MAGA comes in, you should give them poison.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to treat people that are Republicans in the
Yep.
hospitals.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even in wartime,
I know.
they were
right?
treating each, whatever side came in injured, they were treating
Yep.
them. They weren't, well, let him die in the field because,
Yep.
Right. I was in a store the other day. I won't say which store, but it was like a small little shop, roughly in this area, probably 5-ish miles away. And the guy behind the counter was talking to some other guy. And I don't know if they knew each other or what, but the customer, showed the guy behind the counter like a video of something ICE was doing. And the guy behind the counter was clearly like trying to be diplomatic about it. Like he wasn't really interested in this, but what are you going to do? Just you're not going to tell a customer to go to hell because it's a customer. And after the video was done, the guy started, and I was standing 5 feet from them. I could very easily hear him. He started talking about how, like, we need to go start bashing their heads in, man. They don't deserve to live anymore, man. And I'm like, you're saying this in public with
Yeah.
people around you. And it's like, it's the most unhinged. I've never heard anyone talk like that
Yeah.
before.
You're right.
And this is like, who's inciting people to believe that we need to, like, go murder people? Because this guy believes it. He believes it's time to go commit murder.
Well, if you
Remember, this
listen
is the
to
party
a
of
lot of our
tolerance, too,
leaders,
saying this
Yeah.
stuff.
yes, a lot of our leadership. I mean,
Yeah.
Walz has said horrible, horrible things about people, and now I'm getting the feeling that he's kind of turning once again into a hero because of the mobs. That the mobs now like him
Yep.
again. It's after he watched Minneapolis burn down for 3 days from the first, mob activity. Now all of a sudden, apparently they like to be destructive and like to do this stuff.
Well, they like
I
to
don't
feel
know.
like they're fighting the good fight, is what they care about.
Right. Yeah.
But it's not the good fight to burn down someone's business. That's the weird part of it. If you don't agree with someone, why don't we sit down and try to talk it out and try to find common ground and build from there? What's wrong with that idea?
Right. Well, that's how it's supposed to be, anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, we need more people with morals that value humanity and human life, and trying to find that common ground back in these elected positions.
Yeah, I hope we can. Like I said, I just want everybody to kind of get along. That'd be really great. You represent us, so if I tell you to get along, you need to get along, don't you?
Right. That's how it ought to be.
Yeah.
Government
absolutely.
for and by the people.
Yep, absolutely. So,
So-
when, are we ever getting that back?
Well, I'd like to think that you can start with me.
Okay.
So, as Minnesota State Auditor, I know we went through this last time you were on, but okay, why wasn't the state being audited to the tune of $9 to $19 billion going out, the door without anybody paying any attention? How is that even possible?
It's not possible, which means that somebody was definitely paying attention. The issue is not wanting it to be pursued and exposed to the extent that it has. And so there's no answer that I can give to, and I get asked that question a lot.
Okay.
And there's no answer I can give that's going to make anybody feel better about that situation. Because
Okay.
part of the problem is our auditing system in Minnesota is so fragmented that there's people looking at very small pieces of the pie over here, people looking at very small pieces of the pie over there, so on and so forth, and nobody's cross-communicating or working together to pull that thread and see where it actually goes. And so when it comes to the state, the Office of the Legislative Auditor is the entity that audits the state, not the state auditor.
Okay.
And so that's an appointed position, and it's not a constitutional position. And so they essentially get told to investigate and audit whatever the legislature wants them to look at. And so, but in addition to that, whether it's the legislative auditor or the state auditor, all they do is write reports. They can't actually follow through with anything. They have to turn that over to a prosecutor or law enforcement agency and have them actually pursue a case. And so if they don't do that, then it goes nowhere.
Right.
Okay, so if they throw that in the garbage, oh, we don't like this. What recourse do the people that are paying the taxes that are being stolen? What recourse do we have?
Vote them out. That's
Oh.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's
if
about
you
it.
know because I feel like the auditor positions aren't, like hotly contested or even, people. I don't think people even think about it. You just think, oh, auditor, they're looking through the financials and
right.
doing the right thing, and
Yep.
everything's good.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and that's part of what my mission is going around right now. I mean, every night I'm in front of a different group talking to folks about what the state auditor does, and just educating people on that role. because a part of the problem is one, they don't know about it, which is normal, right? They don't teach about the state government in high school civics class, and so
They should.
they should, and so how else are people going to know unless they get curious one day and Google something?
Yep.
And so educating people on what it does, and then educating people on what it can't do, because right now we have candidates, unfortunately, on both sides, my opponent being one of them, who are putting some false messaging out there as to what they can actually do as a state auditor. And because people don't know what it can do, or even that it exists, they say things that sound really nice, and then they buy into it, and they think, oh, that's great. So it's important to know, because we have laws that govern these positions, and I think that's part of the problem as well, is we have people in these positions that don't know the laws, or they flat out go around them or break them.
Yeah.
And so there's another reason why we're not getting information, because they bury it and they don't put it out to the public so that the public can be informed and make informed votes.
God, that's so amazing. Now, how many people, is it just the two of you running for that office now? Are there more people involved?
For auditor,
Yeah.
just me and one other Republican candidate.
Oh, okay. So there's the two of you. So are we ever going to get to a point? Because I do remember another thing as a little kid watching the, what was the big parade called again? The
Holodazzle?
Aquatennial. The
Aquatennial.
Aquatennial.
Oh, Aquatennial.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
don't think we get to have that anymore.
No, I
No,
think
you
that's I think that's like officially over, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard about
But
it.
as a little boy and a young man would see different people, one on the Democratic side, one on the Republican side, they'd walk up, hey, you enjoying Aquatennial? Shake hands, put their arm around the shoulders. These guys back then got along really, really well. So I don't know what caused that. And I also don't understand what caused this huge gap we have now where everybody hates everyone else.
Yeah, I think back in the day, politics wasn't a part of everyday life so much as it is now.
Right.
Yes, isn't that the truth?
Even at work, you got to tiptoe around your conversations and the things that you say.
Yeah.
Because you might offend somebody, and they might take retribution against you just because of your political beliefs. Whereas, not too long ago, we could all, be civil with each other and be present in the same physical space without being offended by each other in some way, shape, or form, because we didn't address politics. We left that stuff at home.
Yeah, I worked in plenty of offices in my time, and I cannot tell you what anybody's political leanings were that I worked with. I mean, we never ever talked about politics.
No.
I said to Tim Pawlenty one time, I said, I wish that politics was like Windows. It just works in the background,
Yep.
does what it's supposed to do,
Yep.
and leaves you alone.
Yeah.
Just leave us alone. Just do your jobs and stop turning everything into your personal warrior thing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Why don't we take a break here and let's come back and Nate, you'd step up right after this and tell us exactly what's on your mind, how you want to get elected, what you're going to do if you get elected. I should say when you get
There
elected.
you go.
We'll be right back in just a couple minutes more with Nate right after this.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. That's a signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Automotive Twilight Zone, one without sedans.
Is it really otherworldly that crossover and sport utilities have replaced sedans? I asked Brett Paul of the Valley Group of GM dealerships.
When you consider ease of entry, visibility, cargo space, and of course all-wheel drive traction, it really shouldn't be a surprise.
But what about things like style, comfort, luxury, and technology?
GMC has been refining this class of vehicles probably longer than any manufacturer. The new GMCs make sedans and minivans, the mom jeans, or black and white TVs of people haulers.
So what are the current GMC crossover and sport utility offerings?
See our sensibly priced Terrains, Acadias, and Yukons at Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings.
A fifth dimension, beyond human knowledge, a place between light and shadow. The
Well,
known.
no, not really.
There you have. I got to mention very quickly before I do the Welsh response that every time I see that video of Jim and his son talking about the Valley Auto Dealers, his son was about 6 months old when I first met him. So to see those two talking about running a car dealership is very, very cool. Sticking together as a family, I enjoy that. It's Tom for Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Welshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Welshire is a place I highly recommend. Welshire is a memory care focused facility, has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have never used or relied on any staffing agencies. Welshire Medina now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I know them personally, and they're a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staff memory care facility in the state. Welshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends. And again, they are my friends. I've known them for years. Set up a tour or learn more at welshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com. I love that, how the guy hit the saw just as I was done with the commercial. They're still repairing something outside our window here.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I'm hearing something. I don't really know what I'm hearing, though.
But is it bad?
Not really. It's
Okay.
faint.
Well, if you-
I think it's an air compressor.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that
probably.
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I'm the only one who can hear it because I'm wearing headphones.
good.
I don't know, Nate, can you hear
Oh,
it?
that's true.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, good. All right.
Good to hear. Glad to hear. So, Nate, what's on the agenda? What first caused you to step up and go, let me take the punch?
Yeah, I was asked to. Kind of similar to how I became a mayor. You could say I was coerced into politics. I spoke up at a city council meeting. Our city has been driven into the ground financially over the course of several years. Just a quick recap: we were about $1 million over budget. Our budget is only like $2 million to begin with.
Well,
Oh, God.
Right. And we were hit with a 48% property tax levy increase, and our cash reserves were negative. So that was all at once. And
Wow.
they were discussing it at a city council meeting one night, and I didn't hear any solutions. It was all finger pointing.
Yeah.
And their one solution that they did come up with was, well, let's cut out the police department.
You don't want cops. You don't want those
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
and women.
And to go even further on that, like let's cut out a third of the basic services that we're required to provide, and then not change any of the way we spend money or manage our finances that got us into this mess. But let's do that. That makes perfect sense. So I said, all right, I gotta say something. So I said something. It was a lot longer and more eloquent, but essentially I said, do your job or I'll do it for you. And I got cornered by about 20 of my fellow community members after that meeting. They wouldn't let me leave until I agreed to run for mayor.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, true story. So a year later, I got elected. A year after that, we had our financial situation completely turned around. Our fund balance is up to $3 million now.
Ooh.
Cash reserves are
Nice.
about 50% of that. We brought in about $13 million of outside funding to fix our 100-plus-year-old infrastructure. So new water lines, new sewer lines, new streets. We just keep going forward. We're making a bunch of improvements left and right.
and I would know how important new infrastructure is because out where I live, we have these very, very old wooden power lines, the
Oh, sure.
poles. And every year, some guy either maybe imbibed too much or hit an ice patch and careened off the road right into one and knocked out power for the entire town.
Oh,
at
jeez.
least probably
Nice.
once or twice a year.
Wow.
And I think last year they replaced them all with new metal ones, and we haven't lost power since. So
Imagine
There
that.
you
Excellent.
go.
infrastructure, it's important.
Absolutely. And again, it's a basic service that government is supposed to provide.
Yep.
So people saw the just the massive turnaround that we had there going on in Braham, and a lot of it was just common sense budgeting and financial management, not asking for more money than we needed, those kinds of things. And then they asked me to run for state, and I thought about it, and the options were Secretary of State or State Auditor. And as I researched both, the State Auditor position really seems to align with my background the best. So that's where it all started.
Yeah.
I love the fact you're stepping up.
Well, it just seems like Minnesota's always kind of been a tax and spend state.
Yeah.
Because at one time, maybe, I think, we used to be able to trust that the money was spent judiciously. And now it's like, well, we don't know. What's this, cricket gender studies in Madagascar for?
Yeah.
Why are we
know,
worried
Yep.
about that?
Yep. Orange frog was a big local issue here in Minnesota a couple years back, and just another one of those DEI type programs that was pushed, and taxpayer money going towards that. And there's a lot of things where it can go unnoticed if the public's not paying attention.
Yep.
And missing inventory in the liquor store, questionable credit card payments with no receipts. City employees using the city credit card to buy gift cards, so you can't track where they're spending that money.
Oh, there you go.
All those kinds of things, and that's why it's important when it comes to the state auditor position, because, like we said earlier, that's what the state auditor does. They audit local government. They don't audit the state, and so we need somebody in that position finally that knows local government and knows where to look for those kinds of things.
So, okay, so let's say you get elected tomorrow and you find all of this stuff and you send in your reports to your bosses and they throw it in the garbage because they don't want to, because they're complicit in some fraud,
Yep.
which kind of sounds like what's going on right now.
I was going to say, hey,
Yeah,
This is
well,
all theoretical here. So they throw it in the garbage and they continue on with their fraud. What can, and then so you're like, okay, well, this is wrong. So I'm going to go to the press. But we have a sympathetic press that doesn't want to say anything against your boss.
Yep.
Because they're not going to get any more interviews, or they're not going to be treated well, or they're not going to get invited to the party anymore for all their stuff. So they're like, we'll just leave that alone because, this guy, he's an outlier. Oh, what does he know?
Never happens.
Can you go to the feds and say, hey, somebody's got to look at these people?
Yeah, in fact, that's what we should be doing right now. The state auditor's office has the ability to create working groups or task forces, whatever you want to call them, without legislative approval needed to do that. So there's no reason why they're not already, there is a reason, but there's no good reason why they're not already, pulling all the stakeholders into the room and having a seat at the same table to have the same conversation at the same time. And then it's on them to follow that through. They could be doing that right now. The public pressure is a big piece of that. That's why the fraud blew up so much as it has at this point, is because it finally got into the public mainstream. There's been reports about it for years.
Yes, 15 or 20 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. But it's just it never caught on. It never became popular public consumption, and so that's where the government loses trust when they stop being transparent. And so you mentioned the press. I appreciate you mentioning that, because the state auditor does have its own press division, and so they can use that as a tool to push information out to the public and try to get it out there for public consumption.
Okay. Because when I was growing up, I was taught that the press is basically a government branch, designed to keep the government honest. Now we know that that's just not a thing anymore.
Yeah. Well, and
really.
part of that is the other one of the other tasks that the state auditor does, which is the executive council. And we talked a little bit about it my last time that I was here too. But that executive council consists of all the constitutional offices at the state. Okay. So for those who don't know, the Attorney General, Secretary of State, State Auditor, Lieutenant Governor, and then the Governor chairs it. That's a mechanism that was put into place specifically to keep the governor in check. And so the problem is they all belong to the same party. And so
Yes.
it's, it's a public body. You can actually go onto their website and see their meeting minutes and what they talk about. They last about 10 minutes. Whatever the governor wants, he gets. But that's not how it's supposed to work.
Right. No question about it. I listened to this one. Andy Jacobson, 2198. I first heard about the fraud years ago, and I believe it was KB1. I first heard it from. Is that right, KB1?
I don't know. I've been trying to sound the alarm, but no one listens to me.
Well, what the
I
hell?
don't know. I mean, when those suitcases of cash were flying out of Minnesota,
Right.
and that actually was on the mainstream media. That
Yep.
was actually a story that was covered, but nobody ever followed up on it, I guess,
Nope.
or they just hit dead ends.
Yep.
It's interesting how this Nick Shirley, this 21-year-old guy running around with a camera, an iPhone,
Yeah.
blows the cover of an entire
Yep.
state
Right.
Good.
budget being used for malicious purposes. Unbelievable how the world works now.
Yeah.
Can you still track him down, or did he disappear after he did that?
Oh, he's got all kinds of stuff. He's constantly talking about Minnesota. He's got a
been
lot
busy.
of things.
Yeah, he's-
Well, Dr. Oz has been in the state now. and
Yeah,
he went
yep.
to a linen factory, a defunct linen factory. I don't know where it was. It's in the state of Minnesota somewhere. And I think there were like 225 LLCs that were supposed to be housed in this defunct linen factory.
Right.
And that was, I think, Medicaid fraud, I believe.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
I want to say the amount's up to almost right around 20 billion now. Is what they're saying.
Oh, God.
Isn't that the kind of
absolutely.
thing that would be very, very easy to see with like an Excel spreadsheet search? Just like find duplicate entries for addresses. There you go. Now look into them.
Right.
Yeah.
It should take you a
Absolutely.
week to look through all of them.
Well, and that's where we go back to the conversation about one, we have people in office that are not competent, that don't speak that language. They probably don't even know how an audit is done.
That's true.
Things like government accounting principles and generally accepted accounting principles and all those things. And so they don't know whether or not their office is doing what they're supposed to do because they don't know what it's supposed to do. But then you have number two, which is even if they were doing their job, there is a very purposeful effort to keep that information as buried as possible.
God, that's just amazing.
Oh yeah,
I'll say
someone
that-
on the chat, Dave Bertman says the Briggs Building. Yes, it's
Oh,
Griggs.
that's the
I think
one?
it's the Griggs Midway Building in St. Paul.
St.
Investigators
Paul.
found that between 22 and 400 businesses were registered to the single industrial address. Some billing Medicaid up to $380 million.
Yep.
God.
And yes, it was formerly a linen factory, not suited for health services.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that they're investigating right now.
And so when we
So-
talk about business registration, who's responsible for that?
Right.
That's the Secretary of
Right.
State.
Yeah, and so they should know. They
Yep.
should be like, okay, you're registering your business at this address. Maybe let's have an automatic check to make sure that this isn't a duplicate entry or something like that.
Right. So that's how we're starting to see every constitutional office on that executive council is starting to have some kind of a role in all of this. And so
Yep.
they absolutely are all complicit in allowing this kind of environment to flourish.
Why don't we take a quick break? Be right back. Coming up, and you got another 10 minutes or so?
I got all day.
I got all day, Pally. All right, we'll be right back right after this. You ever wanted to see some of the most beautiful national parks and monuments in the most amazing way you can? I'm looking at video right now, and it is amazing, no question. I've got a trip that you must be a part of through my friends at Heart of the North Tours. It's the Southwest National Parks and Monuments Tour. It's happening this April, features the Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, Bryce Canyon, Arches National Park, Zion National Park, and so much more. Heart of the North Tours has a reputation for developing their fantastic tours that include airfare, lodging, bus tours, and so much more. For more information, go to heartofthenorthtours.com or call 833-424-2700 to speak to Mike. And Mike, you're going to love talking to Mike anyway. He's a really, really good guy. Mike, who's a total pro, as a matter of fact, too, at coordinating these tours. It all happens April 18th through the 25th, and there are limited spaces available. So, book now. It's a trip of a lifetime that you won't want to miss. You know, I had a little thought after he was on with us earlier in the week, couple of shows ago, but I keep thinking those trips we used to take with the KQ Morning Show out to Las Vegas, we should set up a trip with him that it's all listeners, because those trips are so much fun. It is unbelievable. So I got to talk to him about that, setting one up for, I don't know when he could do it, maybe next fall or something. Give him some time to set it up. But yeah, why don't you let me know, as a matter of fact, how would they reach out and let us know if they had actually, people listening right now would actually like to do a tour like that?
We could do a little poll, Facebook poll or something.
Yeah, we could do something like that. That sounds good. But I like I said, he's such a nice guy, and I think you'd have a hell of a lot of fun. I think anybody'd have a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, maybe we could set something up for next fall. I'd love to do that. Anyway, we're back. We're talking about problems locally. That's all I have to say. You know what's interesting, Nate, is that, and I'm being very honest with you, and if you ever did tell me, I don't remember, but I have no idea, and you don't even need to tell me what your political affiliation is. I'd like to get back to a point where you don't need to know what somebody's political affiliation is to know how they're going to operate. That would be nice if that could happen.
It's like, is the party system even technically necessary, I wonder?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is written into the Constitution, so because the way that the positions are written into the Constitution are
Right.
partisan, and so even if you didn't want to align yourself or affiliate yourself, you have to.
And that's why it's so difficult to get anywhere as an independent.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It all
I'm
has to do with
one of the
funding.
2 Republican candidates running for auditor.
Well, see, there you go. So you're a Republican. I didn't know that. You know, it doesn't. I want people who have good ideas and want to do the work.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I care about. I don't care. I like some. Well, like I said, I have 2 really good friends now. One's a Democrat and the other one's a Republican. They get along great. I get along with both of them great. I just don't understand it. It's, you know, I've been on both sides of the deal too and gotten pretty wound up about things. So
Yeah.
I'm not pointing fingers here. I've made mistakes in my life politically too, no question. But I just think it's time to move away from all that and get back and like work together. What do you think?
Well,
Yeah.
I think we could have an audit of politicians' promises and lies, because we could do a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how many people, when Biden said, open the borders and let everybody pour in here and did all of that, and people were like, well, I don't know why he's doing this. I said, he promised to do that. He said
Right.
it over and over again that he was going to open the borders and let wave after wave of people come into United States of America to strengthen this and do that. And it's like, okay, sure.
Yep.
And nobody believed me. And you could even show them video of Biden saying it. Oh, well, that's not what he was exactly talking about. It's like you can't even have an intelligent conversation with
Yeah,
people
there's no
because
winning.
they really don't know. I think they watch like some little ad, or they listen to some celebrity, or they listen to some news source that doesn't do anything but one, leaning political way or another.
Mm-hmm.
They just will not listen to anybody. But if you had it in black and white with a little video of all the things that these people say right next to it, and you could just post it.
Yep.
You could post it online. You could post it on Facebook. And it would make these politicians have to be responsible for what comes out of their mouth.
Yep.
Because you can spin anything. It's like we're redefining every word now. It's like, oh, that's not what words mean any longer. Words mean this because I say they do.
It changed it. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that a reason that AI could actually be a useful tool in this regard is automatically generating transcripts of everything any politician says and having it be a searchable database of, like, what did they say on this day about this thing? And then you could easily tell, like, Donald Trump said this about this thing on this day, and then you can go be like, hey, why didn't he do what he said he was going to do, or, something like that.
I think also if you have term limits, that'll help with a lot of that stuff too, because when they know that there's a finite endpoint, they're gonna be more apt to actually do what they say they're gonna do and get results, because they don't want to, be elected into the office and then leave knowing that they got nothing done.
Well, it's like, Donald Trump didn't do a whole lot in his first term, and now he's doing a whole lot in his second term.
Right.
And I have a feeling that's because he thought after he got elected, he was like, oh, well, my second term's a shoo-in, and then it didn't happen, so he was like, oh, crap.
Right.
Well,
But now he
also,
has
he
a
was
time limit this time.
I know, but he was attacked from day one. All they did was try to take him down from
I know,
day
but
one.
he thought he was immune.
Right.
Didn't
Yeah,
work.
I suppose.
I liked
He
this
kinda did.
this interaction in our chat. Kathy C says, "Is that Charlie in Albuquerque?" Charlie's got a fan apparently.
Charlie's got a fan.
Yeah,
no
Kathy's
question.
here for Charlie, not for us.
All right, we only got a couple of minutes left that I did want to point out. Andy, could you find a post that's maybe a couple back there that was asking about Paul Allen?
We got a lot of people talking in chat right now. I'll do what I can.
Oh, yeah, if you can't find it.
I'll put this
just
one up
clicked
while I'm looking for it because someone wanted a question. You can read that.
Question about term. Okay, this is for Nate. Question about term limits. If it takes a certain amount of time to become competent at your job, doesn't that leave a whole lot of power in the hands of bureaucrats?
It's a fair point.
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. It's a fair point, but I would argue it doesn't, because ultimately bureaucrats they answer to the elected leadership, whatever, whether it's the executive or the legislature. And so I think if we can make a government that is more transparent in giving information to the people so that the people can inform their elected leaders what it is that they want them to do or act on their behalf, then the elected leaders, you don't have to have experience to do your job. Anyone can learn how to be a politician.
Yeah.
I had zero experience.
It seems really easy these days.
Yeah. When I ran
Just
for mayor, I
agree
had
with
zero
Forrest.
experience. And look what everything that we've been able to accomplish in 3
Yeah.
years. It's just common sense. Just get back
There you
to
go.
leading with common sense.
All right.
Amen.
It popped up again. Thank you, Andy. Can you comment on Paul Allen and what must be going on behind the scenes with radio executives? I hope they don't fire him. They are not going to fire him, although at first we were told, and I don't know who said that he was going to be fired for telling the truth, by the way. What he said was the truth.
There are paid protesters in
there are.
Minnesota.
Oh,
Yep.
there's no
Yes,
question about that.
absolutely.
There always have
There's
been
no
everywhere.
question.
Every country on earth has employed paid protesters.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So Paul's going to take a few days off. Like I said, I know Paul. We're not friends or anything like that, but I know him. He's always been very nice to me, and we've always gotten along really, really well. I just think we're in a situation when it comes to money, because that's how you make money in radio. Is you pretty much got to be straight down the line. I think radio management now across the board is
Garbage.
garbage. It
It is
really is.
garbage.
You'll do what I tell you. Well, if you're so good at this, why don't you go on the air and do it then?
Well, see, the problem with any sort of radio executive is they're not
Alcoholism?
talent. They don't know anything about being talent.
That too.
What they do know is they know how to keep their boards happy.
Yep,
and
that's
they're
exactly
making,
right.
They're making big money. I
Yep.
know the last place you worked, some of the executives were making over $1 million a year as they just sit there and destroy the industry.
Yeah.
Because all they care about is lining their pockets. They don't care really about the industry whatsoever.
Right.
We just want the profits.
They just want the profits.
Well, we'll close with this. And I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just telling you how much the business has changed. When I was at KQRS, we had a 40 share. It was the highest rated morning, not just because of me. There were a lot of good things going on. Dave Hamilton was involved. Mark Steinmetz was involved. A lot of good people on the air. So it wasn't just about me, but the show had a 40 share. It was the highest rated morning show in America. Because of the way radio's changed, and it's changed a lot because of, AI, because of what we're doing right now, as a matter of
Streaming,
fact.
yes.
Streaming and all the rest of it. But it's just not what it used to be. KQRS now has, I believe, a 2.5 to 3 share. I mean, and again, it's part of those decisions are made by management, though. That's not on-air people making those decisions. Management, who knows nothing about radio, will make decisions about radio. That makes no sense to me, and it never did.
You said you had a 40 share. Well, speaking of the number 40, thank you, Kelly Marie. Today is the 40th anniversary of the Challenger disaster.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Today, yeah. I was not born yet, so I didn't watch it, despite my best efforts.
Indeed. The one thing that broadcast companies, which are not broadcast anymore, I guess, what the hell would you even call them? They're not broadcasting companies anymore. I suppose they still broadcast TV signals, don't they, and radio signals.
A lot
but
of them
not
are
for
just
much
hedge funds that own all these things. They're not even
Yeah.
broadcast corporations. They're just
And
like,
that's-
the whatever fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's-
corporate raiders come
Yep,
in, take
yep.
the profits, and leave the shell.
Yep.
That's what they do.
And what happens there, and I'll close with this, and this is a flat-out truth, and I'm not just talking about myself, I'm talking about other people. Those hedge fund people come to town, and they expect you to kiss their ass at high noon, and that's just not in my blood. I can't do it. And many years ago, I looked in their eyes and went, this is not going to work, man, because I just wouldn't kiss their ass. That's what they're big into now. I run the hedge fund, and therefore, well, you don't know shit about radio. Why are you making any decision?
Well, they're still making money though, so they're like, oh, what I'm doing must be working because.
I don't think they're making anywhere near the money they used to.
Well, I
Well,
think
and it just-
I think the
it
hedge
just-
fund managers are because like the
Oh, yeah,
radio
they are,
station, sure,
absolutely.
they'll
Because
come
it
in and
just-
destroy the radio station for profit. It's literally plundering.
Right. Yeah, and after they get done, they show that they made all this money.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what they left and what the aftermath is. Then they just go on and they do it to something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they do. That's why we're being taken over by so few corporations are owning everything. Look
Right.
at entertainment.
Yeah.
And I should say, by the way,
Netflix is going to own the world.
there are still some good people in management in radio and television. There are some good people, but most of them are not very good at it. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. So that's unfortunate. And I can say that stuff, of course, because I don't need them. I do my own show. I don't need them. And I'm happy I don't need them because otherwise I'd have to kowtow to their bullshit, which I won't do. So I could go on food stamps then. What do you think?
Sounds like a good idea.
Start a daycare.
Yeah, starting
All right.
daycare in
I just-
Minnesota.
But yeah, to close with the Paul Allen thing, from what I understand, he's going to take a couple of weeks off, or a week off, a couple of weeks, whatever it is, and I believe he's going to come back then because Paul was right. What he said was the truth, and all these people said, "No, he's lying. That's not." He told the truth, and he got punished for it because it sounded bad.
Well, he apologized.
Yep.
It's just that nothing's ever enough for these angry mobs.
Nope.
though. There's just never enough. They want blood. They want revenge.
Yep.
They want someone to be destroyed. They just don't care about anything other than their little righteous anger.
Yeah, but I mean, it's people that do reach out to the radio stations, all the rest of that too, that make it much, much worse. Because they want to hear what they want to hear, and I don't care about anybody else. It's like, oh God.
It's really gotten we're at a
Yeah.
critical
Yep.
point in our society where if we don't get some common sense back, I don't know what's going to happen.
And
All
I'll
about
close with
protecting
this.
their false reality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll close with this, and I won't say the name, but obviously Catherine and Andy will know who I'm talking about. But I have a very good friend that works over at KFAN, and I talked about this and all the rest of it, and blah, 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 blah. But as it went along day after day, it's like, oh, what do you know? Blah, 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 blah. And I hate this guy, too, because it was my friend, and they know he's my friend, so they hate him now. It's like, oh, my God. Would you settle down, for Christ's sake? I don't know. Maybe it's time for the sweet release of death.
Well,
Oh, not on your own. I just mean you eventually pass away anyway. Yeah.
Maybe mortality's a good thing. It's a blessing. Two
And-
quick
and-
things.
Yes.
Rob having fun in the chat says, "Nice hearing you again, Tommy. I miss Philly. I haven't seen Philly in
Oh yeah, we should call
10
him.
years almost."
Philip lives in Las Vegas now. I
That's
talked
right.
to him several months ago. He lives in Vegas. Philip Wise was one of my favorite people on, and every time I talk to Philip, I can hear it on the phone that he starts to tear up. He said, "Tommy, I can't believe what they did. They literally," we'll close with this, called me a racist, and there were 3 black men on my show at the time. It's like, what?
Well, how did they vote, Tom?
Yes. It all depends how they
Were
vote.
they the right kind of black men?
Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to let you live your life, and I'll live mine. What do you say?
You're right.
Good idea, isn't it?
Nate, when is the election? Is it the same time as all the other elections this year?
Yes.
For auditor?
Yep. So it'll all be on the ballot in November.
There you go.
First, I have to get the endorsement, which is end of May. We'll have
Okay.
the state endorsing convention.
So it's like a primary, but not?
Right. It's basically the grassroots of the Republican Party saying this is who we want to be as our candidate.
Okay, so at the
Okay.
end of May, we'll know if you're on the ballot or not.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Well, keep coming back, would you please?
Yeah, I appreciate the invite and you guys having me.
Oh, it's great having you on. There's no question. Catherine, you have any closing words?
Keep fighting the good fight.
There you go.
Let's audit everybody.
I will.
Yeah. Seriously, please.
Audit the world.
I'm an enlisted combat veteran. I don't have time to play games.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I have,
There
I
you
have,
go.
I have a quick little. I don't know if people have been noticed or have seen these little tidbits about Elon Omar's winery, which is where she supposedly got her $30 million in sudden wealth.
She has a
Sure.
winery?
All of a sudden, the winery is disappeared off of the
Yeah,
internet.
doesn't it? Yeah, it's gone.
What?
All of a sudden, it's just gone. Poof.
Never had any
Yeah.
employees either.
What
I think.
winery?
No employees either.
Supposedly,
That's
they had her and her husband owned a winery. I don't know what state it is. I'm guessing California, and it was worth I don't know $75,000 or something at one point, and then all of a sudden it was worth millions and millions.
right.
of
30
dollars.
million.
Because all of a sudden
Yep.
her wealth grew to 30 million, and she's making about $175,000 a year as a congressperson.
But we're the bad guys.
And so she said, "Oh, it's because of this winery just became so, wonderful." And so real investigative reporters outside of Minnesota went in and looked at the winery, and all of a sudden they were like, "Well, what winery?"
Right.
And all of a sudden the winery just disappeared off of the internet, and it's been scrubbed.
Well, there you go. Maybe they all went to the Leaning Center together and worked on it.
The Leering Center.
Oh, Leering. It was the Leering
Leering
Center. That's
Center.
right.
It's called
It was one of those.
Estcrew LLC. ESTCRU LLC. If you want to do any looking up of that.
It was a 1,350% increase in wealth.
Yeah, its
Yeah.
value surged from around 30,000 to around 3 million in the course of a year,
Yeah.
which is pretty good for a winery, especially since no one's drinking anymore apparently.
We shall close with this. There's a question. Will Stretch ever be on the show? Stretch is on with Bob Sansevier now. He moved over to Bob Sansevier's show.
Yes.
And he's on what time does Bob do his show? I don't even know.
Does he do? He doesn't do it live. I don't
think he does it live. Yeah, he records
No,
it. I
yeah. So
think.
he releases it when he feels like it.
That's Bob, all right. I love Sandy.
Sounds like a great
He's
work
another guy, though.
When
Yeah,
he wants
yeah,
to
there
work,
you go.
you can work.
All right, is that everything?
I believe so.
All right, Nate, thank you for your time and stay with us. Let us know how it's going.
Thanks again.
I'd like to get them back to serving the people. Remember when serving the people was a very big thing?
Or at least we thought it
Absolutely.
was.
Yeah, we thought. Was it?
It was, exactly.
Yeah. Was it really?
All
Who
right.
knows?
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
And watching.